Hello, and welcome to Janko TV. Today we're going to talk about the best anime TV series currently available on Netflix. Anime has been gaining more popularity in recent years, and Netflix has a vast selection of anime shows to choose from. Whether you're new to the anime scene or a longtime fan, there's always something new and exciting to discover on Netflix. So, without further ado, let's dive into the best anime series available on Netflix right now. Number 10. Castlevania, 2017 to 2021. Based on the popular video game franchise of the same name, Castlevania explores the hellish lands of Wallachia, a once prospering nation brought low by the dark hand of Dracula, voiced by Graham McTavish, and his demons. The series is gory, gruesome, and wrought with nightmare-inducing creatures of all shapes and sizes, brought forth by Dracula to destroy the humans he despises so much after the death of his beloved wife. Hiding away in his castle as his minions do his bidding, Dracula is hunted by his own son, Alucard, and his companions, Trevor Belmont and Sypha Belnades. The three of them, a damper, a monster hunter, and a speaker magician respectively, fight their way through Wallachia, hell-bent on ending the war that has racked the nation. Beautiful animation, a thrilling soundtrack, and top-tier voice acting only add to this hauntingly beautiful series. Number 11. Beastars, 2019 present. Beastars excels on a philosophical level. It's a story about nature versus nurture, instinct versus rational thought and control. A carnivore may desire to attack and devour an herbivore, but a rational member of a civilized society will find a way to resist and deflect that urge. An alpha male may yearn to attack rivals and conquer sexual objects of desire in a detached sort of way, but those striving to maintain humanity manage to control themselves and fight their natural instincts. That's the push and pull conflict that's at the center of Beastars, whether it's grounded in animal instincts or the power structure of a high school class system. And it's all handled with such maturity that sometimes you forget to laugh at the cheeky jokes about the well-known promiscuity of rabbits in the real world or the fact that there's an herbivorous panda brandishing a bamboo crossbow to take down carnivores who lose control. Beastars is a refreshing change-up to a more predictable and familiar anime series. It's also one of the year's best that will be hard to top from here on out. Season 2 is already a go in Japan, though it remains to be seen if/when it'll arrive on Netflix, but Season 1 left us with a few questions. What happened to Lewis? Will Legoshire and others ever investigate the death of Tem? Just who was Legoshire talking to in the final episode, and what did that empty tray of medication have to do with the mysterious figure? Hopefully, we'll find out later this year. Number 12. Cannon Busters, 2019 present. Keeping in mind our reasoning that, if it falls under Netflix's category of anime then we're considering it anime, Cannon Busters is a great new addition to the catalog. It's a love letter to classic anime series like Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, and Outlaw Star with enough original material to bring it into the same conversation as those iconic shows. It's got bounty hunters, coin-operated mechs, insanely powerful androids, and a splash of magic to throw an extra aspect into the kitchen sink of a series. Number 13. Little Witch Academia, 2017. After a successful crowdfunding campaign to release a short film, Yo Yoshinari's Little Witch Academia finally got a full series order, and it's on Netflix. The easiest way to describe the show is the Harry Potter of anime. We follow a group of girls who attend a prestigious academy for young witches. This is as wholesome a fantasy anime as you will find, with a Disney-esque sense of innocence, lovable and quirky characters and a simple story that always remains uplifting. Number 14. Yu-Gi-Oh! 2000 to 2006. After Digimon and Pokemon battled it out for Best Gateway Anime for Kids in the 90s, Yu-Gi-Oh! Came in the early 2000s to try and take the crown of Best Gateway Anime with the best tie-in card game. There is a good chance this was not only your first anime but your first trading card game. Battle lines were drawn in many elementary and middle schools between those who played Yu-Gi-Oh! And those who were loyal to Pokemon or Magic the Gathering. As an anime, Yu-Gi-Oh! is a fun show about a kid named Yugi Mudu, a card duelist who believes in the heart of the cards, whatever that is, and solves the magical Millennium Puzzle, which allows him to play host to the ancient spirit of a gambling pharaoh. The series' mythology is vast, the story is full of twists, turns, and one endless tournament arc, and most importantly, it is a lot of fun to play along if you get the actual playing cards. Number 15. Dragon Pilot, 2018. Studio Bones has given us a big variety of some of the best anime series in recent years, from Fullmetal Alchemist, My Hero Academia, and Mob Psycho 100, to the upcoming Carol and Tuesday. You should be paying attention to any series that simply carries their name, and Dragon Pilot is no exception. A mix of Transformers, the art style of Studio Ghibli, and How to Train Your Dragon, Dragon Pilot is simultaneously a fantasy military show, a painfully realistic look at what it's like to be a woman entering the workforce, and an all-around fantastic series. We have an unconventional anime protagonist, an adult woman who, not knowing what to do with her life after high school, makes an impulse decision to join the Air Self-Defense Force. She quickly becomes part of a secret group of pilots that don't fly planes but rather dragons with armor that disguise themselves as planes. Dragon Pilot is entertaining, consistently goofy, and also a poignant look at the double binds that society places on women in the workplace. Number 16. Naruto, 2002-2007. Part of the big three shonen series together with One Piece and Bleach, Naruto is an anime series so massively popular it is nearly impossible to ignore. Even if you've never watched a single episode of anime, chances are you've at least heard about Naruto, even if it's from the Area 51 memes. It's easy to see how Naruto became such a popular series. The antagonists are for the most part likable, the action is stunning and well-directed, involving tactics and strategies. But more than that, it all boils down to Naruto himself being one of the most entertaining and well-developed characters in anime history. Throughout 5 seasons we see the aspiring ninja evolve from a troublemaker brat into a leader and even a father, aka Boruto's dad. Number 17. Hunter x Hunter, 2011-2014. A young boy who embarks on a journey to find his father, who abandoned him to become a hunter. The young boy then decides to follow in his footsteps and also become a hunter, and along the way he meets friends and defeats powerful opponents. While the premise of Hunter x Hunter isn't anything new, the execution sets it apart from other long-form shonen anime. Though Netflix only has the first 3 seasons, they are enough to whet your appetite and have you seek out the rest. The series takes its high concept and runs with it, introducing a complex world with plenty of rules that extend to the action scenes, which resemble Naruto in their use of strategy and tactics instead of simple punches. Hunter x Hunter is also highly bingeable. You might find yourself finishing the entire thing way too quickly, so you'll have to seek out the next 3 seasons elsewhere. And there you have it. These are the best anime TV series currently available on Netflix. Whether you're a fan of action, drama, or comedy, there's something on this list for everyone. So, what are you waiting for? Grab some popcorn and binge watch one of these fantastic shows today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Janko TV.